I'm Doug Hughes, and I built this Titanfall 2 build. Basically, it's based on a science facility on, I guess, the planet Typhon, I think, in the game Titanfall 2. It's a really neat level because you play through two different timelines. One where it's pristine, kind of like this, and the other where it's just like on fire and all beat up. And I decided to stick with the pristine version personally, but yeah. So basically, I started the concept kind of on the far end with the fold weapon, but I decided to build part of the base around it. So I decided to do kind of a street scene. I thought it'd be fun to do some curb work, which I haven't really done like that before. And then doing the sideways building road kind of enabled all that. Made it a lot easier to do stripes for the chevrons in the road and all that sort of thing.
Get some of the angled pieces in there, the cheese wedges and stuff.
Exactly. That was such a pain. It probably took me through 2 different movies of just sitting there gingerly placing these pieces one at a time. Let's see. So what else? So also I included a couple speeders there was a Flickr speeder bike contest, and so I kind of was like, well, I need more stuff to fill out my build. Why not throw a few speeders in? So there's one in the back, little kind of maintenance one. Let's see. So what else? So
some of the bigger sort of mech stuff here.
Yeah, so these are the Titans from Titanfall. That one's the Ronin, and that's the Monarch. Monarch is by far my favorite. It's also one you play as in the game, so I think a little soft spot for it. And they open up, and the figs go inside and everything. And I built a weapon for that one, but I completely forgot it in Seattle, so it's okay. But
it looks fine like that.
Yeah, right. He's just kind of helping the construction right now, right? What else? So I filled in some other construction things. I decided since I was building this partly for a Technic, I wanted to have some reciprocating motion, so I threw in this scissor lift. And I've had a little trouble. It used to be 3 times as tall, so I'm shrinking it as time goes on, so it runs a little smoother. But I stole that the concept straight out of this great Technic book. I'll have to look up what it was, but it was super helpful.
I like what you've done with the little construction scene here. Rather than just doing the whole smooth road, you kind of added, a little deeper element there. Is that like piping underneath the road?
Yeah, some utilities. I don't know. This guy's or the lady's about to cut through, and this guy doesn't seem too happy about it. So I don't know what's in there, but maybe something dangerous. We're not sure. But yeah, it was fun to add a little visual interest because I realized it was this giant block of gray, dark gray, light gray. I'm like, oh boy, I got to get some plants and some other things. So and then I decided, okay, I'll do the park area. And that's also in the game. This is all kind of similar to the layout, and it was neat to get a little pop of color in here. And I had fun doing kind of the texture of the little plaza there. On Google, I found like this great way to lay out the jumper plates, so then you can just lay them just so, and it's perfect grid. Yes. And a few other fun little flourishes, like the guys pruning the plants and watering the plants, and a little family taking a selfie in front of the rings. That was my buddy's idea, and so I guess then we come to the main attraction here. Basically, this took a lot of time, a lot of money, and
it looks like
a lot of frustration. Some things went really well, and some things were a little tough. The rings were. I originally wanted it to be bigger, which of course would have been completely unaffordable. But I'm glad I shrunk it. But I had trouble getting it to be rigid enough, and to keep it. Rotating well, it needs to be nice and rigid, so shrinking it down to this size worked perfectly. And then doing like the planetary gear arrangement to get the counter rotation, that was really interesting and a lot of fun to learn how to do, and I'd never done that before. These black gear pieces have kind of teeth on the inside of the outer part of the ring, and so that allows you to do the planetary gear stuff, which is really helpful.
Looks like you added some lights in different spots as well.
Yeah, and actually I can pop this open if you guys want to see the inside. The first time I built the tower, it was not easy to take apart, and that turned out to be a really bad idea because I needed to take it apart. So the second time I made all the things pop off nice and easily. So the light pieces, it's kind of nice. You can stretch through. There's one here, and then the other end of it goes to the light on the interior. And then, all the motors down here, and I originally had a medium motor, which turns out it just didn't have enough torque to do this, even though I geared it down. So I had to swap it out for a large motor, and Boy, that was, that was a painful process of tearing this whole tower apart because I knew I had the shaft where I needed it to be, and I had to just get up to there with the gears. So that was a fun process. But yeah, glad it worked out.
Anything with moving parts like that always adds a lot of complexity.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's fun to learn. You know, a lot of this is pretty new for me, so I really enjoyed the process. So.
Mm-hmm. As you were working on the whole layout, did you have like screenshots from the game that you were based it off of?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually had video and screenshots. So I had it installed on my computer because it was a lot of fun to play through. So I was like, "Ooh, I'll do my research while playing video games." Yeah.
The best kind of research.
Yeah, exactly. So and then I had a whole bunch of sketches as well, and just kind of slowly chugged my way through and saw what worked, what didn't work. Making the round wall was interesting. The exterior worked pretty well, but the interior is very tightly sprung. So I wouldn't recommend maybe doing that small a diameter on the 2x1 wall thing. Mm-hmm. But
will this run pretty much continuously throughout the whole show, or do you have to kind of give it a break every once in a while?
So far, it actually seems like it runs just fine through the whole show. I had it on for a few hours yesterday with no. Every time I look at it, I think it's slowing down, and then I'm like, no, it's fine. So. Of course, I'm worried about it, but it seems to be okay. At the very beginning of the con, Thursday, though, the shaft holding the far end kept kind of traveling out, and then the ring would just drop down. And so, luckily, they've got the bulk dump, so I was able to just buy a few bricks and stick it in the way so it blocks the shaft in. Yeah, the only thing that really had trouble was the scissor lift. That so far it's running pretty well today, but I had to take a lot of weight off of it to make sure it would run smoothly.
Yeah, very impressive. When you bring this to the show, what's the setup like for you? Obviously, you've got some things that have moving parts, so how does that all work?
Sure. It actually wasn't too bad. The rings was the thing I had to pay the most attention to. I didn't want to touch those towers or take anything apart, so I got a big box that I could slide this onto kind of its own little plate, and then slide that into the box, and then that buttons up nicely. And then these three, actually, I take all the stuff off the top and then stack them on each other. The only thing you have to really watch out for is the cheese wedges, because those will just pop right out. Okay. And so I actually used the glass pieces over here, put them on top of that to hold it down, and just kind of wrapped it around. So, yeah, transport wasn't all that bad, actually. Really, the Titan's the most flimsy thing. That's why he's actually hanging onto the wall there so he doesn't fall over. I thought, oh, it's very expressive. Mm-hmm. That's why he's holding onto the wall.
Well, there you go. I think it's a great layout, and I love how you incorporated the moving elements. So I think your work paid off with figuring all that out. Thanks for bringing it to the show. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to see you guys again.